This is Up for Debate, and we are live on twitch.tv/UpForDebateTV. I'm Sean Jennings, joined as always by a man who, it's not his month. It's Matt Mariani. Hello, Matt. You've had your time.
Oh wow. It's finally here, huh? Finally it is finally upon us. Once again, Shaun-tember. Is it really Shaun-tember already?
Shaun-tember is really a state of mind, if you ask me. It isn't a month. It's more of a personality type. But we are going to be talking about it and making it happen this month in September after a bit of a hiatus. It's back.
Back by popular-ish demand?
Actually, I don't know why it's back. That's a really good question, Matt. I don't know why it's back, but it's kind of like the flu shot. It's like you just got to do it every year and assume it does something.
It's like Beetlejuice. You say Shaun-tember 3 times and back. It's here.
And you get the most thrilling month of the year, behind, of course, March Madness.
Right.
Matt, we have got a fantastic month ahead. We got a lot we're going to get through tonight, but I do want to start off with a surprise I did just for you, Matt.
Oh, wow.
So, people might remember that for our summer book club, one of the books we chose was If I Did It, the O.J. Simpson confession book, which I know, Matt, you just finished reading.
I did.
And you had specifically asked me
to see where we're going with it.
You had specifically asked if we could set up some O.J. Simpson emotes on the Twitch channel. Now, bad news, you're not allowed to have custom emotes unless you're a partner or an affiliate, which we're not. We're not big enough yet. But I did add 2 O.J. Simpson sound alerts into the sound alert window.
Nice.
2 of his commercials, from beloved actor and football player, Hall of Famer, O.J. Simpson. So,
Hall of Famer.
Those are free if anyone wants to go play them.
Heisman winner, Hall of Fame,
USC
star,
legend.
O.J. Simpson.
Yes.
So we've got. So what are these? I have to.
I can.
Now.
Let's see. I think I can. You want me to just play them?
What are these emotes?
I think I can just play them here. Let's see.
I go into the channel and
yeah, right at the bottom there.
I am
here.
That'd be
All
the
right,
first one.
I can play. They should be the last 2. They say OJ.
I found them. Oh, okay. I'm gonna play the Hertz Rent-A-Car.
All right, let's see if this works.
Hear it? Did it work? Anything?
Now, Matt, how would you feel if you went up to the Hertz counter at your local airport and in big letters, in terms of the rental car, it said Simpson, OJ, row 12?
I don't know.
And then you went to
would I
that
feel
spot,
about that?
and there was a white Bronco in the spot.
I was gonna say there would have to be a white Bronco involved. I would think. I would
think.
I would probably feel like OJ himself. Now I wasn't able to hear the sound alert.
Oh, you weren't able.
Here we go.
Oh, because I probably don't have it routed back to you. If you were watching the stream, you heard it.
I figured it out. No paperwork.
Here, let's see. Do you hear? Yeah, this is sort of working.
I got it. I was able to play it. I think there's a way you can play it for yourself. I figured that out.
Well, there's also a Schick Flexomatic commercial starring his first wife.
Yeah.
Is in there as well if anyone has the 0 bits to play it, because I'm not allowed to charge money. Matt, are you ready to get started into Shaun-tember? Learn the theme, hear about what we're talking about?
I'm still enjoying the Schick Flex commercial.
Oh, we're not seeing it. You're seeing it. Maybe the stream is seeing it. I have no idea how any of this works.
Blade Close. Schick Flexomatic. Oh, I enjoyed that, Sean, and I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful that our Up for Debate TV listeners on Twitch will enjoy those sound alerts as well. This is the XFL.
Yes.
Another great sound alert.
Yeah, we got some fun ones in there. People should check them out, play them on the show. All right, Matt. Here we go. If you're ready, Shaun-tember, you ready to learn the theme?
Ready. Lay it on me, Shaun. What's the
All right.
theme of Shaun-tember?
Welcome to Up for the Eats, a month of culinary delights. It is a food and beverage themed month here on the show, and we've got a series of great episodes I'm very excited about coming up. And Matt, you want to know the best part? Tonight, we're going to plan all those episodes, and you're going to get to have a say. Just because it's my month doesn't mean you don't get to be part of the party. So we're going to talk about the topics, and you're going to get some say in some of them. Are you up for that?
I'm up for it. I'm always up for Shaun-tember. Shaun-tember is it's always a good time. I always look forward to the unique things you come up with, Shaun. Your mind is goes places in Shaun-tember that we never usually see. You had us eating all kind. We made macaroons. I think one Shaun-tember.
That was not Shaun-tember.
We
That was your idea.
What was that for?
You just said you wanted to do it.
I thought of that.
Yes, you did. I would have never thought of that. That's such a mad idea.
Okay, that was me.
No, we did cookies, we did crackers.
We did.
Remember with the sort of D&D style game where you were in a shopping mall and you had to play through the shopping mall?
Oh yeah, that was great. That was a memorable adventure.
We do?
It was the Schuylkill Mall.
The Schuylkill Mall, right next to the Schuylkill River. And there's a sound alert for that.
It became one of our sound bites.
It did. Yeah. It did. Stands the test of time. But this
what do we
month,
got?
Matt,
what's going on?
I've got 3 episodes planned. The first one, and I'm very excited about this, is all about tea. And no, I'm not talking Mr. T or even the letter T. It's not T-ball or a T-shirt. It is T-E-A, tea, the beverage, specifically hot tea. Matt, I am a big coffee drinker. I drink 2 to 3 cups a day. I like a hot beverage. I even have a special smart mug that keeps mine nice and hot. But I've never had hot tea, ever. Not once in my whole life. It's never happened. And so I want to use this. Yes, go ahead.
Folks at home will also be interested to know, I think, that not only has Shaun never had hot tea, he's also never had iced coffee.
No, that's not true. That's not. I had nice.
Is that not true?
I had a nice latte today.
Is that not
Matt.
true?
No, that's not true. I've also never been a hot tea, so that's also never happened.
No hot tea for him, and no iced coffee. I thought you were not. No. You're not really an iced coffee guy, though.
No, I like iced tea. I like iced coffee. I do like iced coffee. I drink it all the time.
So of the 4 in that category, you've never had the hot tea.
Yes, definitely coffee, like iced and hot are like 1A, 1B. Iced tea is fine, but I never go out of my way for it. And then just a hot tea. I've never, anywhere where there's hot tea, there's coffee, and I have coffee.
Now, Shaun, I want to share a strategy with you about tea.
Okay,
I learned,
great. This is exactly why we're doing this. Summer.
So, if you're a pro tip, if you're drinking tea, your instinct is going to be you're going to want to leave the tea bag in.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a faux pas. You are not supposed to drink tea with the tea bag still in the tea, unless you're drinking like an herbal tea. I think herbal tea is the only exception where bag in is fine. But if you're drinking like a black tea or a traditional like Lipton's or something like that, or Earl Grey, I think the proper etiquette is that the bag you steep, and then remove. Then you dispose of the bag. That was an interesting thing to me. I was always a bag in guy, but I learned that just this summer is like I guess the proper way to do tea. I was in Ireland for this summer, and that's how they do it over there. So learned some tea. I had tea in a castle, a little bit of a flex, like flex on the show. It was a proper tea. not just like the beverage, but like with little sandwiches and excellent things. Shaun, you should try that. Now that once you get into the tea game, as I'm sure you will after today, go to a proper. You know what? You know what? You know what? Let's do tea. Let's do a proper
A
tea.
proper tea service? Yeah, I
Let's
love
go
that.
somewhere and go and attend a tea. And I think it will change your view on
I would love, well, I'm open to tea.
concept.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
open to trying it. I do drink too much coffee. I like Matt. I am a beverage. Actually, I just got these. Have you had the Topo Chico flavored non-alcoholic
I
seltzers?
have weirdly enough, I have. I have a couple in my fridge right now, and I don't know how they got there. I didn't buy them. I think it was one of those things somebody brought them over a long time ago, and
Sure.
they've just kind of migrated from my basement to my basement fridge. And I was just having one the other day, and I was like, how did this get here? Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a ton of different flavored waters, sparkling waters, sodas, juices, beers. Like, I love variety in what I consume. And so I'm excited to add a new hot option because really all I have now is coffee. I'm not really a hot chocolate guy. So the plan for the episode, Matt, is I'm going to get I actually have a big, like, pump carafe I'm going to fill with hot water. And I'm gonna have the tea cam set up, and you're gonna teach me how to make the tea and drink the tea right here live on the show.
Now, this sounds like a great idea, but I'm going to preface for the folks at home: I am by no means a tea expert.
Fair.
I am a man who has drunk tea at some point in his life. So as far as my expertise can go, I think we'll just be instructing you on how to not rip the bag open. That's rule one: is you don't rip the bag.
Well, now you got
Gotta
me
let
thinking.
the water do its thing.
Do we know any tea people, like big tea drinkers?
I don't know any big tea
Oh.
drinker. I mean, I don't know anybody, I guess, who I would describe as like exclusively a tea person. I know people who like the occasional tea. But I don't know anybody who I would describe as a tea expert that we could bring on. And
well, then you're going to be the tea expert, Matt. You're just going to have to suffice.
Okay.
Do the best you can. I believe in you.
Sure. You know what? Here's what we'll do. I'll pull up, like we always do. I will have on the background a guide to tea.
Very helpful.
Tea drinker's guide. We'll just see what we come up with. I'll read you some tea information.
Well, that's what we have to figure out tonight, because the tea episode will be the next one after this, and I need a shopping list. I need to know what I'd like to try a couple different teas. And so Matt, you got to help me here. What, in your opinion, are some basic popular teas that I can find at my local market that I could get for the show?
It really, I mean, what it really comes down to, Shaun, is the flavor profile that you're looking for. Tea, as a matter of fact, has a robust and wide variety, even more so than coffee, I would argue.
Yeah.
Like, for as many different types of coffee there are out there, I would say there's like maybe twice or three times as many different types of tea. And they vary a lot more, I think, than coffee. I think a coffee drinker is like going to be a little bit more discerning between like your dark roasts, your light roasts, your Arabicas versus your Ethiopian beans. But I think like when you hand somebody two coffees, they'll be like, yeah, it tastes like coffee to me. I don't think tea is like that. I think tea is, you'll have a much stronger reaction and opinion of like the herbal tea drinkers versus the black tea drinkers, or the Darjeeling tea drinkers versus the cinnamon tea drinkers. There's so much of an incredible variety when it comes to tea. Tea has been around globally. Tea is like the first global drink. It's been around a lot longer, I believe, than like in a globalistic setting, that is, than coffee. I think you could probably trace the global coffee trade, beginning to around like the really didn't kick off until like the 16th century, maybe 17th, when it entered like true commercial usage. But tea, Sean, tea has been around since, you want to guess how long tea's been around?
Since Jesus invented it.
How long do you
Nope.
way forward? You?
Go ahead, Matt. What's the answer?
The story of tea begins around the year 3000 BC, Sean.
Wow.
So 2737 BC to be exact. It's a long. That's a long time. So originating in China, and then following the Silk Road all around Europe and Asia and Africa. So lots of tea has been around for eons before coffee or juice were invented. So, what do you got? What do you got for us on the tea scale? I was supposed to answer a question.
No,
what would I recommend?
Just some types of tea.
What would I recommend?
Just some types, overall types of tea.
I was on my soapbox, my tea flavored soapbox. So here's what I would say. My personal favorites.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to rank them, like my top 3 teas that I like.
Perfect.
Earl Grey.
Yep.
Right, Earl Grey hot. I would say I also really like a good mint tea. Mint tea is always fantastic.
I like mint.
And then I would say like my number one with a bullet. And it's not me being biased, but I had the perfect cup of Irish breakfast tea.
Breakfast
this
tea,
summer.
totally.
English breakfast is very good too. English breakfast, Irish breakfast. Personally, Sean, I think as a coffee drinker, that's going to be the place you're going to want to start with the breakfast teas. To me, they're the most complimentary to a coffee. Is the breakfast tea. English breakfast. I prefer Irish breakfast, but it's a little bit more robust. But English breakfast or Irish breakfast teas, that is my number one favoritist tea out there.
I love that. That's a slam dunk list. I might throw. I went on Target.com and looked up their best-selling teas. And green tea seems to be their most popular, so I might throw green tea in there as well.
People like the green teas because of the antioxidants, but remember that like they're it's different. Teas are each one's very different. So the green tea is going to be a lot more of you're going to get a different flavor profile, completely different. It's kind of like the difference between Irish or English breakfast tea, the difference between that and like green tea. It's kind of like the difference between coffee and lemonade. Like you get some good. Wild, like they're both beverages, but somehow they're both teas. They just their tastes are like wildly different. But I
love
think,
the variety.
Green tea, you can't go wrong.
Love the variety. Well, this is gonna be good.
Another highly underrated tea, if you could get it, it's called oolong tea. And the oolong tea, that's most commonly, if you go into a Chinese restaurant and you ask for hot tea, they're either going to give you green tea or oolong tea. And the oolong is also very good. So you might enjoy that as well.
What about tea accessories? Should I have some honey or a lemon or some cream? Anything you think that I should have to go with it?
Personally, I've never been a fan of cream. Do you do cream in your coffee?
I do,
like,
but I don't. Okay. I do Coffee Mate flavored creamer because I'm a lunatic. But I don't know that I would necessarily need it in tea.
I don't think you would. I think you should start pure. I would say start with the pure tea experience, and then you can always elevate it if it's not for you.
Yep.
But I think the best way is really to just start out with the tea and the water and nothing else. And see if that speaks to you. If it doesn't, there's always lemon. Like I find people like to add lemon to like their like green teas. They're already like citrus based kind of teas to bring out that like citrusy flavor and accent it a bit. I think you're more likely to get cream in your darker teas, like your black tea
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I've heard of like people pouring or Darjeeling or something like that, but um, chais are very popular with cream. Personally, though, I would just start out with just the
Take it
pure
plain.
tea experience.
Makes sense.
If you want to get really devout about tea, if you really find that it's up your alley, if you want to up your tea game, there are a bunch of tea accessories you can buy. There's like tea strainers and tea purifiers and things like that
Would you
that you
believe
can
I actually own
up for.
a like non-electronic traditional tea kettle?
Kettle.
Yeah, I ordered tea as a gift for somebody from a fancy tea company, and I was like $5 away from free shipping, which would have been more than $5. So they had this beautiful green kettle on sale, so I threw it in the cart. So it's beautiful. It just looks great. It's beautiful, but I've never used it,
Very nice.
so this will be helpful. Good.
There you
All
go.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
so you've already kind of got a yeah, you got a background then. That's nice. If you're really into the tea game, that'll help you out.
I'm really genuinely excited. I think this is going to be fun. Like I said, we'll have the tea cam set up. You can check out my bag technique. You see the color of the tea. Watch me drink it live. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be next time. Matt, we got to move on though to our next
Yes.
episode of the month.
All right. What's next?
Matt, we've had a long tradition of bringing on our friends from the Don't Panic podcast in real life, Dan Miller and Colby Rabideau, on the show to taste test some foods. Matt, good news, I've already booked them. They're going to come on the show in September. I will let you know the date when we hang up. Hopefully you're available. They're going to be coming on the show, and I've already picked the foodstuffs we're going to have this year, Matt. It is one of the most popular staples in American society, certainly selling billions of dollars every year. I would argue it's part of a complete breakfast, Matt. It would be breakfast cereal is going to be what we're going to be eating this year, which I'm very excited about.
Now, Shaun, it might surprise you and the folks at home to learn that I'm not a big breakfast cereal guy. Never really have been. I don't know what it is. I'm hoping this experience will kind of turn me on to breakfast cereals. Um, I've always seen like I love breakfast. I love breakfast foods, but I've always seen that there are just so many alternatives to cereal that I would rather have that. I mean, one of our most famous episodes, Shaun, was an episode about breakfast foods, right?
That's right.
And then that never saw the light of day, sadly. But
That is correct.
we that was when that and we rocked that episode. Um, but there are so many incredible breakfasts out there that I don't have much love in my heart for cereals. I'm hoping maybe that I can be convinced otherwise. Um, would you consider yourself like a cereal? Would you be like a cereal champion? Are you a champion of cereal?
Cereal is like a come and go thing for me, where I'll get really into cereal for like a month and then not have it for a year. What I like about cereal and why I wanted to choose it, cookies are kind of the same ways. There's such a wide range of things that are cereal, and there's so much variety, and that excites me as a variety guy. I will say I think alternative milks have really gotten me more into cereal, because I think just personally, like an almond milk is actually better for cereal. It's a little thicker. I think it just works better with cereal than traditional milk. That's my 2 cents. So no, I rarely eat cereal, admittedly. But I think it's going to be fun. And I told Dan and Colby it was cereal, and they were pretty excited. So Matt, what I need you for, we have to pick the cereals. I normally just pick these and send them. But I said, that's not nice. I want to involve my co-host and close personal friend in making these choices. We got to choose 4 to 5 cereals to send to everybody to taste test in a couple weeks. You think you're up for the challenge?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm game. I hope that a lot of the cereals that I enjoyed as a child are still around. We'll see. That'll be fun to find out. I don't know. I don't know if is Kix still around?
Kix is still around. Yes, choosy kids choose Kicks.
Apple. How about Apple Jacks? We still have Apple,
Apple
Jacks
Jacks,
out there.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, most of those
Oreo
big name
O's.
ones. Oreo O's are
Yeah.
somehow still around. That's going to be so.
Somehow that's
We're
a
definitely
shocker.
going to need a super chocolate one, and I don't like chocolate breakfast cereal. I really don't. So I think that's going to have to be in the mix.
There's
Um,
Coke. I'm assuming Cocoa Puffs, Fruity
yep,
Pebbles. Cocoa Pebbles, Fruity Pebbles.
Cocoa
Yeah, there's
Pebbles.
a lot of
Yep,
cereals out there. Yeah.
it's insane.
Um.
That's why it was hard to narrow them down. I'm thinking. So I'll come right out and say the most popular, the best-selling cereals in America. Okay, which this might help. Cheerios, which I think are really boring. I kind of don't want to do Cheerios. They taste like cardboard.
I've had Cheerios. I'm familiar. I think we could probably eliminate Cheerios. I don't know.
Yeah.
To me,
Uh,
the best part about Cheerios was the other things you put in Cheerios. Like if you slice a banana in Cheerios or
as when I was a kid, they literally would
whatever.
put sugar in, literally a spoonful of sugar in Cheerios.
Yeah,
That's how much they sucked.
yeah.
I do think so. Frosted Flakes is next. I think we need a flake cereal.
Okay.
I don't know if it could be Frosted Flakes. There's Honey Bunches of Oats that's very popular. There is Raisin Bran, Special K, all flake cereals. If any of those stand out.
I actually, unironically, Raisin Bran might be my favorite cereal.
Oh, then we got to have. You want to do Raisin Bran?
Raisin Bran might be my number one with a bullet cereal. Not might be, is.
All right,
it is. I like Raisin Bran.
Well, I wanted a
We
a
could
flake
do
in
Raisin
there.
Bran.
I love that.
We could do that. Could be our flake. That could definitely be our flake.
Done. Love that.
No, I have never had Frosted Flakes. That's not I've never had that as a cereal.
Frosted Flakes are good. Personally, if I do a flake, I like Special K because they have like 13 varieties where it's like strawberries or vanilla or almonds or Honey Bunches of Oats is kind of like that where they just have a bunch of different ones that I do enjoy.
Oh, Honey Bunches of Oats. That I haven't heard that name in a long time. That's
Still very popular. One of
another
the top
fantastic
five.
cereal.
Yep, it's a top 5 cereal. Next up, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
The taste you can see,
Yes,
as
You've
the
been paying
commercial
attention.
goes.
yes. Which
I
think
never liked Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
not a fan.
I was not a fan. No, never. I remember them being too, like a little too sugary, a little bit too much. And I like things like Oreo O's because they were sugary, but like there was the gimmick behind it too. But I don't know. I never really cared for Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Well,
It made me thirsty. It made me like I think it was too much with the cinnamon or the sugar.
Yeah.
I was thirsty as I ate it. So
that's fair. The next two, you want to talk about gimmick cereals: Lucky Charms and Fruit Loops.
both of them classics.
Yeah, I think we definitely need like a kids gimmick cereal for sure.
And there are many of them.
I think I kind of go back. I would like to choose one of these two. I don't know if I would take both. Does one sway you stronger than the other?
I'd probably go Lucky Charms. I'd probably go
I think
Lucky Charms over the Fruit Loops.
I think that'll be a fun one to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. That one's changed.
Yeah.
I don't know if Fruit Loops may have changed too, but I think through our lifespan, I think Lucky Charms has seen more iterations. So that would be a fun one to discuss, to dissect.
I would agree. Let's see what else is here. Frosted Mini Wheats, a unique cereal, wheat style cereal.
Okay.
I think that could be fun. Let's see, Life cereal. You ever have Life cereal? I don't think I've ever had Life cereal.
I don't think I've ever had Life cereal. And I was going to suggest maybe like one wild card we try that like neither of us or none of us have ever had. Maybe even like looking at foreign cereals, like I don't know, like Canadian cereals. or Europe cereals that are eaten in Europe or something like that. That could be kind of fun.
Well, maybe I'll hold
Just
off on
any kind of non-traditional cereal.
a wild card. I like that. Well, listen, we have Raisin Bran and Lucky Charms. I would love to do a chocolatey cereal. I'll throw out some options for you here. There's definitely your Cocoa Krispies, very very chocolatey. There's Reese's Puffs, which have that peanut butter and chocolate. There's, as you mentioned, Oreo O's still exist.
They do.
So those are an option as well. What else? Those are kind of the biggies for chocolate. Any of those stand out to you?
I've got the
Cookie
personal
Crisp?
nostalgia for Cookie Crisp. Ah, yeah. I would say either the Oreo O's or the Cookie Crisp. That was my Cocoa Puffs. I think are that's like got to be the most famous chocolatey cereal.
Yeah.
Or Cocoa Pebbles, one of those two. But I think for our purposes, maybe not the most fun. I don't know. Cocoa Pebbles, I remember going pretty hard.
Those are for my. If you want, they do like the chocolate milk. Like they.
'Cause that's chocolate. Yeah, that's chocolate right there. I think it would be a fun YouTube short to like set them all up in milk and then test which one turns the milk chocolatey the fastest. You know, between the Oreo O's, the Cocoa Pebbles, Cocoa Crisp, like which one is the one that will like that milk is chocolate the fastest. Measure the rate at which they chocotize that milk.
It's
That would be
very scientific. All
an interesting little short, I think.
right.
Someone should do that.
We'll do that. All right. How about one more here? We've got Captain Crunch. What else haven't we talked about? Chex, which is kind of lame. Rice Krispies. Apple Jacks, you mentioned.
Right? Apple Jacks they're fun. Apple Jacks are fun.
Cracklin' Oat
There was something
Bran.
different. I like that. Mm-hmm.
Well, I have decided I'm gonna do one surprise cereal that not even you're gonna know about, and that's gonna be the wild card.
Awesome.
Because to be totally honest with you, I'm ordering all these from Target, and Target, I'm going to find the craziest cereal they carry. So I can't go too wild, but I'm going to take some time and do some research. They do still have Kix and Corn Pops. What else? What else haven't we talked about? That's kind of the big ones. I can fill out the rest. Wheaties.
Okay.
Still make Wheaties, which I don't think I've ever had. All right. Well, good. Well, this is a helpful start, Matt. I will fill out the rest and get those in the mail. I am excited to try that. The guys asked me, is milk required? And I'll tell you what I told them. Milk is optional, but suggested.
Milk optional.
If you want to eat them right out of the bag and take them dry, you go right ahead. All right. All right, Matt, we're going to move on.
So are we going to be ranking? Are we going to be ranking these cereals on like a tier list, or are we? How is this going? We're just kind of like, it's like our cracker and cookie. We're just kind of talking. We're kind of like riffing off of them, and then we're going to pick a winner at the end. Is that how we're doing it?
Yeah, basically, we'll score them as we go through.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. Well, then that's week 2 of Shaun-tember settled. Cereals.
Come on back. It's going to be good fun. All right, Matt, final episode of the month. Very excited for this. Are you familiar with a YouTube channel called That Recipe?
I am now familiar with it, Shaun.
Yes, I
did
told
my
you
homework.
about this.
You told me about it. I did my homework. I watched a few episodes, having known the gimmick, I guess, behind it. And I believe I have selected what I think will be my favorite recipe to potentially replicate.
I love it. Great. Well, for those who aren't familiar, That Recipe is a YouTube channel. Man, how would you describe it? It's like AI generated videos of very odd recipes.
Sometimes the recipes themselves, the recipes are odd. I think sometimes it's more the oddest thing about them is the preparation. Like what ultimately what results is anywhere from like it looks good to like just completely inedible. Like one cake
Yes.
they made, I remember it was like still raw on the inside of it. I feel like really most of the time the finished product looks like something I would try. Um, it's just like it's a very unorthodox way of getting there.
I,
It's like the procedures are things that real humans would never think of, which is why this is all AI generated.
Yeah, and I say this
But
with all due respect. This is very much if Matt Mariani had a YouTube channel. Like your brain sometimes works, and I feel like these are you would do a better job. But this is like, yeah, I guess you could make it that way. Type recipes.
that's all right. That's put very nicely. Yeah, I guess you could make it that way. Yeah, like well, I guess yeah.
Technically,
But
well,
why would you? But okay,
yeah,
like yeah.
but they all have
Um,
funny names. Like, and I'm just gonna read a couple random ones. I learned this in California, and now I do it all the time. Mix the eggs with cheese, and the result will surprise you. No one will believe the recipe you made with so much garlic. They taught me the secret behind the most famous onions.
I think my that one's a good one. I think my favorite one was nobody will believe what you did with the Coca-Cola.
Oh, that was good. And I love the ones where they reference ethnic foods, and I'm trying to find one because they do it. Oh, what was it called? There was a great one where it was like, damn, I'm never gonna find it, but it was like a Chinese taught me how to make this recipe, and now it's the only way I cook it. Like just
Yeah.
my Italian friend surprised everyone with the spaghetti he made in the air fryer.
Yeah.
So
It's
Matt,
stuff like, and then you
yeah,
really expect things to go extremely sideways. But I have to say, I think that's only happened like once or twice, and I've watched all of these videos. So only maybe a small, less than a handful amount of times does it come out, and you're like, "That was a disaster. I would not eat that." Most of the time, the end result is like, "Oh, yeah, all right, kind of a bit of a roundabout way of making it. I don't know if I would go out of my way to do it that way, but yeah, it worked surprisingly." So
yeah, it's again, it's that uncanny valley of like it's like 80% of the way to a real recipe, like Food Network thing, but that 20% is really weird. Um, and so Matt, I actually can you see the YouTube channel?
yes,
Okay.
yes, I can
I
see your
picked out,
screen. Yep.
I thought the folks at home might enjoy seeing a couple of the weirder ones. Now, our challenge at the end of the month is going to be we're each going to pick a video from here. I might do more than one, but we're going to pick a video and we're going to try to replicate the recipe and report back on the show if it was possible. The weirder, the better. So I picked out a couple of my favorite weird ones, and I figured we could watch them together. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Stop me if you can't hear it. You should be able to. Here we go. This is add the M&Ms to the air fryer, and the result will surprise you.
Start by adding 600 grams of
M&Ms.
M&Ms.
My computer just playing this YouTube video. Not encoding overloaded. Oh no. All right, Matt. We're not watching videos today because my computer can't handle it.
I will say, Sean, I've seen this one.
Yes.
I've seen them all, but this one is it is one that I remember vividly because I think this is one of the ones that does not work out well.
No, it looks horrific. At the end, it's like some kind of cake thing that they're making in an air. That's their new gimmick so they post 2 videos every day, which is crazy. But their new thing is everything's like, just put this in the air fryer. And I'm like, you shouldn't just dump a bag of M&Ms into your air fryer. And yeah, this looks so disgusting.
Yeah, this is the one. And then they try to kind of soup it up with a caramel and marshmallow fudge kind of drizzle on top. And I think even you could even tell as the person is pouring it, you can even tell that they're like not convinced that this is gonna make any difference. Like,
Yeah, really,
you can tell that just by the pour. You never see the. the face. You never see the face of the chef, but like you can just tell even by their pour that this is not gonna it's not gonna be good. Um, I hope for their safety that they didn't actually take a bite of this because it very much looks like there is raw egg in there and very the middle I could just the only way I could describe it is just unstable. Unstable cake.
Yeah, without a doubt, maybe the best part of any of that recipe video is the end where they cut into whatever they made. Because most of the things they make are usually some sort of like, oh, we took, actually, I think I have one of those queued up. Oh, yeah, the most delicious and perfect cabbage you've ever seen. Your guests will love it. And they basically hollow out a cabbage, fill the cabbage with ground beef and cheese, but then cover the entire cabbage in ground beef like a basketball, and then cover that in bacon. And so it's by outside order, bacon, ground beef, a whole cabbage, more ground beef, and cheese. And it's one of those when they do like the cut and spread at the end, it is like one of the worst looking things I've ever seen in my life. And this is why I want us to do that recipe challenge, because I'm like, could we actually make this, and what does it taste like? I'm not optimistic.
Yeah, that one, I was actually rooting for that one personally. I was like, maybe there's a way they could salvage this and it'll actually look amazing. And no, that one was not to be saved. That was not to be saved.
Yeah,
but
unfortunately,
it was one for the memories for sure.
They use a ton of whole cabbages. They use a lot of table cream. I'm pretty sure it's Portuguese, in its origin.
Yeah, table cream is something that comes up. Table cream comes up in many of the recipes.
And a lot of it'll be like a can. There was one where it's like, add an egg to a can of creamed corn, and the result will surprise you. I didn't watch it because that sounds terrible. But the can was in Portuguese, so I said, okay, that explains it a little bit. So that's going to be our challenge. So you got a month to do it, Matt. You got a couple weeks. You can pick any one you like. Give it a shot. I highly suggest take photos, take video with your phone. We can show it on the episode if my computer doesn't explode, and we'll tell the story. I don't want to remind the folks what happened during the macaron challenge. You never actually finished making one.
It was a bit of a disaster. I think I did attempt it.
You did,
but yours came out a lot more consistent.
Well, mine
I had some issues with the piping bag. I had some issues with the piping bag, and I think I had some issues with the temperature at which I was preparing it. I was overzealous with the food dye. I think I was trying to make like 2 different colors of macaroons, and
yeah,
I should have just kept it simple. But this time I will not choose a macaroon related recipe. I'll keep it a little more simple.
That's one thing I'll say. All of these are very simple recipes. Like they're not doing any complicated. It's usually just like put a bunch of stuff in a pan.
It's the procedure. And even the procedure won't get complicated. It'll just be like, are you sure about this?
Yeah.
Are really like this is really gonna okay? I'll do it, and then okay. Well, 9 out of 10 times it actually comes out looking like nobody would have guessed that's the way you made it.
It's gonna be fun. So yeah.
I think for the Coca-Cola, the aforementioned nobody will believe what you did with the Coca-Cola. I think that recipe, I believe it involved like slicing the top of the can of Coke, leaving it in the middle of the chicken. Or no, it was like bread. It was like a bread that you had made, leaving it in like the middle and like kind of letting the steam turn like the Coca-Cola into like Coca-Cola steam. That it like coated the bread. Was it the bread or chicken? It like coated it with it. And that was just like all right. Like, but then it looked delicious when I went out. But
well, we're gonna find out.
It's stuff like that. Yeah, it's stuff like that. You may see that recipe. Maybe I'll recreate that for us.
It's gonna be fun, Matt. We have a little more time left. That basically wraps up Shaun-tember in a bow. Those are our 3 main episodes. I'm very excited. Everybody, we got tea, we got breakfast cereal, and we got that recipe. I think it's going to be a super fun month. As I mentioned, Dana Colby will be here for the cereals. You're not going to want to miss any of it. Matt, we got a little bit of time left, and I realized, do you know what we haven't talked about in a while?
O.J. Simpson.
Actually, no, we talked about him like 40 minutes ago. No, unfortunately, what we haven't talked about is maybe one of the most exciting games in all of America. You may be thinking the NFL's back. Oh, no. There's a league that has way more excitement than the National Football one. It's the Up for Debate Movie League for 2024, Matt. We're just a little past the halfway mark, and I figured maybe we could do a little mini analysis here to close us out.
Sounds good. I was as we were talking about Beetlejuice. I think that was before the show. I was actually thinking about the movie league, how things are going over there.
So for people who haven't been following, we had our 5 teams draft a collection of 30 movies back in March, and we're chugging through the year. And we've got some interesting results. Maybe we'll take it from the bottom, the 5th ranked team, and work our way up. At the bottom, Matt. Who is it, unfortunately?
It looks like it is the Fair Weather Fans.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's you, Matt. That's you and Heather, unfortunately, at the bottom. You did pretty well with your first 2 movies, I will say. I'm going to flip over to the other screen here. You had, took a little while, A Quiet Place Day 1, decent value on that, $139 million on a $9 purchase. And then one of the biggest movies of the year, Despicable Me 4, a $32 purchase, gets you about $350 million. Unfortunately, that puts you in last right now with a total of $488 million. You got a couple big movies coming up, though. Beetlejuice is coming out this weekend, or next weekend. You got Venom 3. You've got the Lord of the Rings animated movie and Nosferatu. How are you feeling about your team, Matt?
Feeling all right. I think Venom 3. I actually of those listed, the one that I'm most looking forward to seeing the returns on are Beetlejuice, and I think they'll be. It's getting a lot of promotion. It's getting
good buzz.
Good buzz. A lot of good buzz, yeah. A lot of good buzz. Will it be able to carry us to number 1? That I'm not really so sure about. But I think we'll be in the mix. I think we'll be in the conversation. And then Lord of the Rings is just a complete and total wild card.
Did you see the first images from the movie?
Yes, I did.
It looks good.
I did, and it looks good. It's just going to be a matter of. I don't think there's a lot of goodwill from the fandom because of the show that came out on the Amazon show. That did not fare well with the hardcore Tolkienists. They weren't. I guess there was some deception. Not to go into it too deeply, but there was some deception regarding the source material and purity of the intentions of the work. So. Who knows, like, what that? Who knows the ramifications of that with regards to this? This is a whole different company. This is a whole different production team, writers. But are people is that sour taste still lingering for Lord of the Rings fans? In the sense that they won't go out and see this. I don't think that it is. I don't think that is the case. I think that. Fans of the franchise will show up for it. It's just really a question of how many will bring them out. It's always so hard these days to predict movie attendance of anything, right? So much has changed since COVID. So much is, and we've learned this doing the show. The format of movies have changed. So how many people will just wait for this to be released on streaming service? Well, something we'll have to wait to see, I think.
The tough thing for us is this is the first time we've done a full year league. And so normally we would only draft movies at most 6 months, 7 months out. Here we drafted movies 9-10 months out. And that was a problem because we were talking about movies nobody even knew that much about. It was just a name on a slot in a calendar. So I actually have a pitch for next year's league that will address it. It'll totally blow up the way we do it, but I think it's pretty exciting. I'm going to hold that close to the chest right now, but I think that could be fun. I do want to talk about the good, the bad, and the Bulgogi, which is Dan and Sarah's team. They are in fourth place with $553 million. Did a great job on Dune Part 2. That was a very successful film for them. They also did okay on Civil War. They did okay on Garfield movie. And they did okay on If too. I mean, If was a great value, $111 million for a $4 purchase. Really great value there. They should feel good about that. So they're in fourth. They have coming up The Wild Robot and Sonic the Hedgehog 3. New trailer for Sonic just dropped this week. I think it'll be a big movie, but I think it's gonna be tough for them to work their way back up to first. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I think it is. It's gonna be a tough climb for them. I'm thinking Sonic 3 looks pretty. I mean, on a personal level, I think Sonic 3. I think will do pretty well.
Yeah.
It is just gonna be. It's so tough to look at the other movies on that list. I know If has been getting a lot of press, favorable. Civil War kind of dropped off, fizzled, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was never going to be a big movie.
That. Yeah, but we'll see. I think that their eggs are probably in Sonic and in Dune too. So, we'll see. I don't know too much about The Wild Robot.
It's a DreamWorks animated film, original IP. Obviously, huge appetite for kids' animated films this year. Yeah. But The Wild Robot, no existing IP.
You do well.
So,
yeah,
I'm highly curious. There's going to be a big marketing push, so it could do decently. But they just got a hole to dig out of. Right above them, in third place, tucked in T-shirts, which is Colby and Laura, $713 million. They bought the most movies, and really had a couple of really good value hits. Kung Fu Panda 4, $193 million off of $9. They also had Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, $171 off of $8. Again, just really great value. And then Twisters, which is now in the top 5 highest grossing movies of the year, $250 million for $6. I believe that will be an all-time league record in terms of return on investment. And they got a number of small movies. The Crow absolutely ate shit this past weekend, but they've got Kraven the Hunter, Transformers 1, and Mufasa the Lion King. So some decent opportunities to bring in money still to come.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this team has a lot of promise. Their lineup is what I'm looking for here. It's one of the more promising ones. And I think it's the analyzing the potential value of movies like Twisters, which we talk about an amazing purchase. We talk about an amazing get. Really a lot of press. I remember the commercial, the Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah,
I think is where they debuted. A follow up with that, it being a summer movie, really helped move the needle. And of course, it being a sequel to an already popular Spielberg IP. But who knew, the success that it would have? It really, absolutely, quite literally taking this movie league by storm.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think they've had good movies. I think they will have good movies, but they have a pretty good gap to close, unfortunately, because our first place team is doing so well. Before we get to them, though, McTastical, which is Kaylee and Brian, they're in second place with $859 million, and they have been a story of feast and famine, having some of the most successful movies, including Bad Boys 4, $193 million on a $7 purchase, which is great value. And then, of course, the wildly successful second highest grossing movie of the year, Deadpool and Wolverine, $582 million. So helpful there, but they also had some incredible stinkers. Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, $67 million on a $15 purchase is really bad value. And then, unfortunately, Borderlands grossed $15 million on an $8 purchase, which is also rough. So they're about 100 million behind first place, and with one movie remaining, Gladiator 2.
But Borderlands was a fantastical flop, wasn't it? That was woof. Okay.
Yeah, well, and the fact that they, paid $8, at $3 maybe. But boy, an $8 purchase, that's, if you think about it, Twisters was bought for $2 less and grossed 250 million. So
yeah,
it's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, there's a big difference. And now I could see why the expectation was what it was for that film, but there was an interesting report of returns. I think the movie itself made if you look at its budget compared to what it earned, the number it was stark. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but
yeah, it was a disaster.
It was. I'm just gonna pull it up just for fun. The budget was 120 mil. 120 mil, and domestic opening only did 8 mil.
Yep.
So there you go. I remember the incredibly poor returns on that movie. As for the other ones, yeah, I like the chances. I mean, this is kind of, they're all, I mean, with the exception of Gladiator 2, which we'll see in December.
Yeah.
They're coming out. Furiosa turned out also to be a bust, so I think this might be as good as it gets for McTastical. Right? Deadpool Wolverine is kind of, that's gone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at this point you really just have to hope for big things from your remaining movies, and I don't know. I think they might be looking they might be other teams might be passing them and seeing them in the rear view real soon.
Well, and that's kind of the problem, because I do think, unfortunately for you, Matt, I hate to say it, I don't think you really have much of a chance, but I think the other 3 teams below first could arguably have a chance. But the problem is, if you look at the first-ranked team, Gooper Troopers and Teddy, Mike and Laura, past winners of the movie league, $956 million. It's just nonstop hits with these guys. When you look at Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, 113, not huge, but they only paid $6 million. Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire, 196, only paid $6, great value. And then, of course, the highest grossing movie of the year, Inside Out 2, $647 million on a $26 purchase. It's great, and I would say, listen, they're just shy of $1 billion. That's a great, only a handful of teams have ever crossed that mark. Here's the thing. They still have 2 of arguably the biggest movies left on the calendar. Joker 2 and Wicked, which I think, will Joker be massive? No, but I think it's going to be pretty solid. And I think Wicked could be the movie of the fall. I think people are really, really excited for this thing. So I look at these other teams, and I'm like, could they catch Gooper Troopers where they are today? Yes. Can they catch them while still having those 2 movies left? I mean, they could hit $1.5 billion by the time this thing is done.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you here, Shaun. Just looking at the lineup for our first place team for Gooper Troopers, it doesn't look like anybody's going to be catching them, unless barring some major surprises. There's just a lot of hype behind these movies. Joker, Wicked, especially, but also inside just what they've already done thus far, especially with Inside Out 2. It looks like they've put up enough of a buffer, and they're just going to keep going forward. They may even break the record for highest grossing, or just the highest earnings of the movie league history.
Yeah, I mean, to earn $1 billion on 3 movies, which is essentially what they've done so far, is incredibly rare. And again, that's mostly Inside Out 2, but for what they paid for Ghostbusters and Godzilla, it's like McTastical. They paid a hefty price for Deadpool and Wolverine and got their money's worth. They just made bad bets in other places. So, no, Cooper Troopers, I think they've got a well-rounded team. I don't want to say it's over. It's definitely not over. Are people, Joker was kind of a breakout hit. Are people actually excited, or are they kind of over it a little bit with all the hype and everything? And I do still think there are movies out there that can make money. So, going to be a lot to see. We run all the way through the end of the year. I think the final date is... we'll close the scores on January 14th. So we've got how many movies left here? We've got 12 films still to come, which I think is anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen.
It's going to be fun.
That's true.
Well, Matt, this has been an outstanding kickoff to Shaun-tember. Really appreciate all the help and support. I got some lists here, some shopping I got to go do, some boxes I got to mail out, some YouTube videos to watch. But we've got a fun, food-filled month coming up for Shaun-tember. Up for the eats, a month of culinary exploration. Anything else, Matt, before we conclude this evening?
Not too much. Looking forward to the fall. I think somewhere along the lines, once we're through Shaun-tember, we'll have our summer book talk.
Yes,
that'll be fun. Looking forward to all of our fall things that we do on the show, and the return of the season. Will be happening soon. I'm also looking forward to maybe being able to go back upstairs to my old podcast space. It might finally be cool enough up there.
No shame in the basement. No shame in the basement.
Yeah,
that's where podcast streams are made.
True.
Matt, I got a couple of quick things I do want to plug. Of course, over at Don't Panic, at don'tpanic.io, myself, Colby, and Dan. Matt, this is right up your alley. We're doing technology movies. And Technology movies. So we just published an episode where we watched and reviewed the film Hackers, starring Johnny Lee Miller and, of course, Angelina Jolie in her first on-screen role. I really enjoyed that movie. It was a lot of fun. This coming week, and Matt, we'd love to have you on one of these if you'd care to join us. It's a little past your bedtime, but
love to.
It might be fun.
Sure.
Next up, Johnny Mnemonic, starring Keanu Reeves, which I've never seen, and is supposed to be a mix of insane and bad. So I'm pretty jazzed.
How about I've got a couple for you, but how about Swordfish?
Swordfish is on the list. Sandra Bullock's The Net is on the list.
Net, another good one. Yeah, another very good one.
They're all basically kind of hacking movies. What else is on there? There's some really bad. Have you ever seen Virtuosity? Have you ever seen that one with Russell Crowe?
No, that I have not seen. But Russell Crowe in a hacking movie sounds.
Oh no,
sounds like a good time.
Even just the trailer, I will give you the incredibly short log line, but basically the police make a virtual reality simulation to train cops in. And so to be the bad guy in the simulation, and this is according to the movie, they take the personality of the 100 worst people to ever live, like Hitler, and they make like a character in the game, played by Russell Crowe, who's the bad guy, who somehow comes to life and becomes in the real world, and they have to stop him. Denzel Washington's the main cop in it. Crazy movie. Anyway.
Okay.
We got a great list. I'm excited.
I've got one more, I think.
Yeah.
That I have not seen. I'm trying to find the name of it here. This was a kind of like an inside look at, and I think this is more of a like nonfiction kind of made for life tech movie, if you want to look at it. I think it was like the inside look at kind of like the start of Silicon Valley.
Oh, the Pirates of Silicon Valley? Is that the one you're thinking of?
I think that might be it. It was something like that.
Yeah, young Steve Jobs, young Bill Gates.
I think that was the one. I don't know. That one looked interesting.
Yeah, that was a made-for-TV movie back in the day, but it's still floating around. Yeah, no, that's also on our list.
Yeah, that's it. That was it. The Pirates of Silicon Valley. Yeah.
Yep.
Just as a thought, that could be an interesting tech kind of movie. But if you're really into the hackery space, yeah, Swordfish and The Net will be fun. I'd love to be on one of those.
We'd love to have you. That would be good fun.
Yeah.
And of course, on this show, at Up for Debate, upfordebate.tv. Go check out. We just played more Chrono Trigger last week. It was a lot of fun. We were put on trial and lost, so that was pretty cool. And, of course, we have a whole month of great... I've spent this whole episode teasing, so why aren't you subscribed yet? Subscribe wherever you get podcasts. Look for that purple icon on all the major platforms and the video version on YouTube as well. Obviously, next week, you're going to want to see the video version of me making tea. How fun. And, of course, you can get a hold of us up for debatetv@gmail.com. My cat is here. He clearly wants me to snuggle with him in bed, so we got to wrap this up. So on behalf of Matt, I'm Shaun. We greatly appreciate everybody for checking this out. We're going to see you next time for another...